Why does everyone hate Benson Boone? Let's dive in and try to understand it. Hi, I'm Maria Paula Bermeo, clinical psychologist, and on this channel we talk about various topics and we analyze them from a psychological point of view. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. Before starting this video, I want to remind you that I give in-person and online therapy. So if you need a consultation, please feel free to reach me out on my social media, my phone number, my email. All of them will be listed down below on the description box as well. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, it will help me out a lot. And if there's a specific topic that you would like me to talk about, leave it in the comments down below or feel free to DM me on my Instagram. I'm always open to suggestions. I love interacting with you all. Benson Boone is an American singer who started his career on TikTok sharing his own songs. Then he auditioned in the show American Idol back in 2021. He was a really good singer. He impressed the judges. Katy Perry even told him she was convinced he was going to be the winner due to how talented he was. He passed the auditions. He got into the top 24 who were meant to participate in the live shows, but before those, he quitted the competition. Of course, the audience outraged because how could someone that talented just live like that? But Benson actually explained his motives. He didn't want to be tagged as another American Idol contestant for the rest of his life. He just wanted to be himself and make music that he truly loves. He also added that he knew it was risky to make a career on his own without a platform, but he likes being challenged, hence why he took such a crucial decision. Everyone praised him for being honest, for remaining true to himself, for going against the manufacturer's standards from the music industry, and this support was displayed to TikTok, in which he gained a massive following after his time in American Idol. We are talking about 2 million followers in a short amount of time, so of course he was going to catch the attention of tons of showmen in the music industry. Benson ended up signing with Dan Reynolds though, the frontman of Imagine Dragons, who has a record label called Night Street Records, which is associated to Warner Records, a huge deal. With such companies backing him up, he debuted in October 2021 with his song Ghost Town, in which he played the piano, the guitar, he sang, he was part of the creative team for the aesthetics and everything. It was a pretty decent debut, to be honest. He was performing on shows, he made it to plenty of charts all around the world with that song. It went gold and platinum in the US, France, Austria, etc., and even went double platinum in Canada and Denmark. He kept dropping singles here and there. His first album, Fireworks and Rollerblades, that did good, but he blew up last year when he released his song Beautiful Things. That single played all over social media. You couldn't escape from it even when you tried, and he doubled his following overnight. So was the number of haters that got tired of the song, but it was still notoriety after all. So much so that he even got to open some shows for Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour, which popularized him even more, just as it happened with Sabrina Carpenter, for example. After that, Benson undeniably became a star, a heartthrob. He got praised for his amazing skills. And I mean, he was playing instruments, he was singing high notes after doing backflips with so much ease. He was actually doing backflips casually at every single performance. He got nominated for Best New Artist at the 2025 Grammys. He was announced to be playing at Coachella, and I think the latter was what magnified the hate he had already been receiving for Beautiful Things being overplayed on TikTok. Because on weekend one, he performed Bohemian Rhapsody with Queen member Brian May, expecting it to be a whole thing that caused fuzz at the festival, but instead people were normal about it, like, okay, cool. Not happy with that, Benson mocked the audience on TikTok, and on weekend 2, he took a cutout from Brian May to the stage as his special guest to tease the audience. Many criticized him for being so immature about the situation, telling him to get over it, that he was throwing tantrums, and I get both parts. It's okay if Benson felt frustrated because his idea didn't go as planned. That's a human reaction, and he is allowed to show his discomfort towards that, but I also get that there are ways to show said disappointment. I would say he could have chosen only one of the two, posting the TikTok or bringing the cutout to the stage, to not be so annoying with it. However, I also understand that maybe he simply wanted to do both as noise marketing to keep himself relevant, which is what many celebrities do. Unfortunately though, as I already said, this made people start questioning Benson and everything he does, meaning that the Benson Boone hate train began. Now, psychologically speaking, I think some people just don't like Benson because they got oversaturated with his song Beautiful Things. They don't want to know anything about the man anymore, and they've been hating on him just to cancel him totally and never see him again. Others maybe wanted to gatekeep him, to feel more connected to him, to feel unique for listening to underground artists, but got angry because Benson isn't that anymore and have just been trying to cope with a loss by hating on him. And others, well, they might just be jealous of his massive success and are displaying their insecurities and discomfort on Benson by shading him online. And I dare to say this because I've seen people hating on Benson for the most ridiculous nonsense reasons. First, they are throwing shade at him for being Mormon. Benson has been very open about having grown up in a Mormon family, going to a Mormon school and church, but that's it. He's never tried to preach his religion at any of his concerts or anything similar. Now, netizens have tried to say he's definitely an extremist Mormon because of his parents, who have said their religion is the pillar of their lives. But that's his parents' perspective. That doesn't mean Benson necessarily stands by that. There are plenty of people nowadays that have been raised in Christian, Catholic, Mormon, Muslim, etc. families that are believers but not religious practice-wise, that now practice a different religion or even consider themselves atheists. Is Benson Boone the exception according to the haters? Because he himself has said he's not deep into the Mormon religion. I have the hypothesis that many are just expecting him to bash religion as a whole because hating it in general seems to be a rising trend these days. Now, I'm not telling you be religious or not, that's on every individual to decide. I'm just trying to say that many humans out there, especially those younger ones that are Boone's target audience, are very likely to reject religion as a whole for various factors, and they expect everyone to think the way they do. And when someone, even more someone as popular as Benson, keeps things neutral, they cannot tolerate it, they cannot wrap their heads around the fact that not everything needs to be taken to the extreme, so they assume that because someone's not throwing shade at believers, that person must be a disguised priest or something, and decide to hate on them. And they are doing that with Benson. They are trying to rationalize Benson's neutrality towards religion into insane conspiracy theories of him trying to manipulate his audience into Mormonism through his artistry. I mean, people out there are saying that backflipping on a stage is so Mormon of him. That's just acrobatics, a trick to make his performances crazier. Dancers do it, K-pop idols do it, gymnasts do it, regardless of their own personal convictions. But not only that, they are even saying that his lyrics are so Mormon. This is about his song Mystical Magical, by the way, but I don't want to get a copyright strike. But let's read some lyrics, analyze them, and see if they are Mormon. There's nothing colder than your shoulder when you're dragging me along like you do, and then you switch up with no warning and you kiss me like you want it, how rude. But I kinda like it anyways. I don't mind if this is gonna take a million days. I know you'll come around to me eventually. If you sit back, relax, enjoy my company. Once you know what my love's gonna feel like, nothing else will feel right. You can feel like moving ice cream, taking off your blue jeans, dancing at the movies because it feels so mystical, magical. Oh baby, because once you know, My love is mystical, magical, oh baby, cause once you know. I'm sorry, but what's Mormon about them? If I had to tell you my interpretation of the song, I would say it's about Benson falling in love with someone that's playing hard to get, and he's trying to get their heart by promising their love will be a fairy tale that will never lack from adrenaline and magic. And the instrumentals are just from the pop genre. They actually remind me of the song Like Me from Teen Beach Movie. Very good movie though. Overall, it's just a pop song. Now, music interpretation is up to the listener. Some will get a song, some won't, but not every lyrics needs to be overanalyzed to find out they have some cryptic message. Some don't even make that much sense. Some of them are just meant to be fun and sassy for the sake of making enjoyable and entertaining music, and maybe those are Benson's intentions. And to be fair, he hasn't mentioned God or some omnipotent force in his lyrics. I think people are just overreaching to hate on him and or to force him to swear on religious beliefs just so they can feel identified with him, to make him apologize and redeem to feel they have power over him, which is not optimal. That is just trying to establish an unhealthy parasocial relationship. And now that we are on the parasocial side of it all, these days people want to believe they 100% know their favorite celebrities. They like to feel them as close as possible to them, as if they were their besties, their partners, especially with someone like Benson who was discovered through TikTok. They feel they've known him since forever, as they saw him started his career on socials, singing in his room with his guitar and raw vocals, creating this feeling of owning someone, and that's a double-edged sword. Because on one hand, it's beneficial for the artist to have a core fan base that's loyal, but there is a darker side to it, because these same fans have an image of the singer. In this case, they become emotionally attached to it. They think that because they know the artist since the beginning, they know who they are as an individual, and when they change or evolve, which is normal for every human being to do so, when they start showing their personality a bit more aside from the singing or any other talent, when they stop being relatable as they become more rich, more successful, more mainstream, and more famous, they outrage because they feel everything was fake, which is what happened to Benson and why now he's been accused of being inauthentic. Benson only discovered he could sing at the age of 17, spent most of his teen years on TikTok, and had literally never written a song before until a few years ago. He's been in the music world for a whole 5 minutes, so it's not a wonder he doesn't have a unique and intriguing artistic identity yet. But to be a great artist, you do need to have something serious or unserious to say. Think Kendrick Lamar's political commentary, Taylor Swift's diaristic musings on love and womanhood, Charli XCX's passion for partying, Chappell Roan discovering and celebrating her sexuality, etc.
Benson Boone is not going to understand why people don't like him until he gets older. You know, you look back on your youth and you cringe at all the times you weren't being authentic. He doesn't understand that he's not being authentic because I don't think he knows who he is yet. He has some self-discovery still to be made. He's a young kid. I don't think whenever he mustered up the idea of a blue glitter jumpsuit for tour that was a genuine original idea, and I don't think it was a stylish idea either. Somebody just did that half a decade ago for 2 years straight. So I think all of these little things coming together, your music sounding like Cole's Cash Raining from the Sky, it sounds like Ryan Tedder's second cousin wrote your music. It's not authentic. It doesn't feel true to the times or to you, and we don't even know you. We can just read you. Something's got to be done, and I think age is the only thing that, I mean, that's why Shawn Mendes kind of fell off. If you're not going to give people authenticity, they're going to see themselves out, and you're going to do a lot of weird things to people and to your own career because it's called self-sabotage, because you're not being yourself. You've got to figure out who you are and live out that truth before people can respect your music or any of the art you create, to be honest. Sorry, I'm not a booner, but I could be if I felt like you were being yourself. I look back on videos and photos of myself from my early 20s and my skin crawls off of my body. It's terrible to watch because who is that? You always say when you're like, who is that? Because it was like, who is that? Life is a journey to discovering who you are. So I ain't even being too hard on Benson. Make that music you want, booner. I'm sure I don't even gotta say it, but I think there's some work to be done. And if you really genuinely listen to his music and don't understand why people hate on him so much, you could also benefit from what I've said in this short film.
I mean, in that case, Benson's identity as an artist would be self-discovery, no? Because he's just growing naturally under the spotlight. And the irony of the article I just read is that they are comparing him to Kendrick Lamar, Taylor Swift, Charlie XCX, who have years in the industry, and what we see of them now is an image that has been polished for ages already. That is why it has remained stable for a long time. Benson is literally a person that blew up all of the sudden without knowing he was going to, and he's simply trying to adapt his normie image to that unexpected level of fame. It doesn't mean he's being 100% inauthentic. It might just mean he's just trying to fit into the music industry expectations, but he's being extremely judged because the public is analyzing everything he does with a magnifying glass due to his rapid and massive success and popularity at the moment because of his household beliefs. However, the audience is definitely biased because he's not the only celebrity that has renewed his image. Think about Sabrina Carpenter, for example, or Chappell Roan, who was mentioned in the article I showed you. They too have drastically changed over the years, but they haven't received the same harsh criticism that Benson is receiving because they didn't explode on social media overnight. They had to climb the ladder progressively, allowing them to change gradually over the years without shocking the public too much. Now, I'm not underrating nor mocking their careers. Actually, that means they have worked so damn hard to get to the point they are on today. I'm just saying that because they've grown more steadily, the change hasn't seemed as aggressive as it is with Benson, and that's why they are not receiving inauthenticity allegations, despite their images having been curated throughout the years, different to Benson, who rise to the top suddenly and he had to change fast to keep the momentum going. Also, Sabrina and Chappell are always talking about sexuality or acting sexual in the eyes of the public, which for the younger ones is so relatable and empowering, something Benson hasn't necessarily done, and both are fine. You don't necessarily have to talk or portray things about your intimate life publicly to be genuine. If you feel comfortable, okay, but it might also be fine to be a young man figuring his personality out. In this case, his artistic personality in real time. Maybe being cringy and weird in the process, but to be honest, that's pretty realistic, raw, and sincere. Now, I do want to talk about Benson allegedly trying to copy and emulate a certain someone that has been wearing those extravagant outfits on the stage for ages. I'm not gonna lie, their outfits look very similar, but Harry is not a trendsetter necessarily. Elton John has had that style since forever, Prince, Freddie Mercury, even glam metal bands as Poison have existed that have had that whole image. Look, I love Harry Styles. I grew up with a guy during the One Direction days. He was my literal favorite 1D member that I could have given my life for when I was a kid, but he's mimicking other artists as well. The only difference is the generation in which they've been the most popular. Benson happened to unfortunately try to emulate someone from the same time period, but that doesn't mean he's necessarily trying to be Harry Styles. He might have just taken him as a role model because he grew up with him on the spotlight already and he just admires him. And now that we are on the topic of Benson Boone being compared to Harry Styles, there is a niche online saying that the difference between Benson and Harry is that Benson is dressing as a more feminine, exotic character on stage solely to set a performance when he's just a common man in real life. Meanwhile, Harry Styles is genuine and we know he's all about showing his real self to the world through his music and aesthetics. But do we really know Harry? I mean, one day he was the frat boy womanizer of the group, the next he was a baby girl, one day he's doing Pilates, but all of a sudden he appears with a gym bro, muscular body, one day he's doing ballet, and then we see him running an entire marathon, one day he's kissing a woman on the street, then he's kissing men in front of a large audience, then he's going to a gay club and kisses a woman while he's there. And then he's in Italy waiting for the new Pope of the Catholic Church to be elected. He's just everywhere doing anything, very uncertain, very ambiguous. So can we really assure he's authentic? I don't think so. Let's remember Harry Styles also had a different manager than the other 1D members at one point, who helped him to build a certain persona carefully and slowly way before he became a soloist. And that's why he seems authentic, because he's been acting the way he acts for more than a decade. So for fans, that's who he is, because it is common already, unlike Benson, who's still experimenting. Am I saying Harry Styles is fake? No, I don't know him. I'm just pointing out that actually we don't know celebrities at all. Most things they do are calculated. Even that relatability they seem to manifest. So it's very hypocritical to say Benson Boone is not authentic when in reality no public personality is. On the same page though, people are hating on Benson Boone for actually owning the hate. He recently dropped his single Mr. Electric Blue before the official release of his album American Heart. We'll talk about it in a minute. The song itself is a tribute to his father, his hero, who Benson considers a role model due to his hard-working and strong personality. Nonetheless, this time people decided to ignore the actual meaning of the lyrics to put their entire attention into the music video because they couldn't handle him owning the hate he's been getting. He parodied every single bad thing people have said about him. Him allegedly being an industry plant due to his massive success, the supposed overuse of autotune, him doing unnecessary backflips everywhere, the inauthenticity of his character, the claims of him being a one-hit wonder because no other song has blown up as Beautiful Things did, the backlash he's received for his outfits, netizens mocking his songs because according to them they are bland and tasteless.
Here's your moonbeam ice cream, miss.
Hey, you're that guy who sings Beautiful Things.
I sure am. Thank you very much.
Your music is terrible.
Everything. Humor is a coping mechanism, and that's what he's doing with his music video. Now, before you tell me, I know I said that doing a TikTok of the Brian May situation and bringing his cardboard on the stage was way too much, even when it could be considered humor as well, but these two have two different contexts. That TikTok and cardboard thing most likely came from his impulsive, intrusive thoughts rather than a functional way to channel his emotions. That's why I said those actions could be considered tantrums. A music video, on the other hand, is mostly planned. It has a route to follow, making the whole execution more meaningful, with more purpose, more functional, hence why I'm saying he was actually facing the hate train with said production. Haters despise the fact that he mocked them because he is owning the negativity, and trolls are losing their power. They were trying to bash him though, saying that he was just laughing at the critics instead of taking them into account to improve, but in his defense, he has tried to ask the haters to tell him how to be better, but they are like, I don't know, I just hate you. How is he supposed to take those opinions into account? At least tell him something constructive. You are overdoing it with the high notes, stop doing backflips, maybe learn how to dance or something. Not only I hate you, that just proves the point that they are hating on him because he's succeeding. But finally, remember I told you about his album American Heart? Well, it's already out, and the cover has not been that well received because Benson is carrying a US flag, and some are saying he's MAGA for that. First of all, not everything has to be political. If your politics are your main personality trait, you probably have some work to do because politics should be a part of you, not all of you. And even if your life is that way, not everyone is like you. We are diverse and carry carrying a flag from their country might not be a political statement, but rather being proud of the place they came from. Yes, right now the United States is under Trump's administration, but not because of that carrying the American flag means Benson is right-wing. If Kamala would have won and Benson carried the same flag, it wouldn't mean that he's a lefty either. He's just American. And hey, we have celebrities as Shakira, Bad Bunny saying they are Latinos whenever they can, individuals like Selena Gomez who are crying for their people when they don't even know their language, Kamala Harris herself switching accents depending on the race of the people she's interacting with, and people defend and understand them. What makes Benson different? That he's a white American male? That again only shows people are just hating on him because he's existing and living his own reality. In the end, he's just a guy that happens to have talent and is sharing it with the world. Sure, some things could be perceived as exaggerated, copied, or curated, but he's a celebrity. Everything they do is that way because it's art, it's a spectacle, not necessarily because they are trying to brainwash you with a subliminal thing. And speculating on their real intentions or their real character is not that useful actually, because you don't know them at all. You see what they want you to see, and instead of building parasocial relationships with them or hating them because of conspiracy theories or overreach facts, it'd be better to just enjoy art as it is, subjective. And if you don't like it, you can move on and enjoy other things and be happy instead of wasting your time and energy getting angry and stressed for someone that doesn't even know you. That will make you sick, while it gives more coverage to those you don't want to see or listen to everywhere. Is there something you learned from this video or something that you would like to add to the conversation? Leave it on the comments down below. Also, don't forget to like and share this video with someone that may find this useful, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you never miss out for more interesting psychology content. Thanks for watching.